mashirana no kwano.
This mic is not on. I do this mic on. So we have the sound guys. Sound guys, please can you report to your workstation? Sound team, please report to the sound desk. Alright, in this moment in time, we're going to invite your attention, ladies and gentlemen. At this moment in time, we're going to invite the President and the two Vice Presidents, Mr. Neville, if you could please join us.
I spoke to him. Yes. I'll give you my card also. Yes. I'm in charge of governance, so all issues related to staff council elections, any problems, you're in charge. I'm with you with Judson and Solomon.
Yeah, there's one issue we need guidance on in terms of the assembly.
Yeah.
Where the so maybe I'll call you. You're still here, right?
I'm here. I'm gonna actually have to be at the airport at 2 p.m. tomorrow.
That's it. So I'll see you later.
Okay.
And then we can discuss that.
All right.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, your attention.
Yes.
Okay, media colleagues, thank you so much. This is going to be very brief. The press conference is going to be 10 minutes. When we do have the Q&A, your attention, Pamsoroi Madelegate Zelu, Tanga Chikumburo Uti Pa Nguva Yatashika, Tanga Chikumbira Uti Avo. Vasiri vema-newspaper, vasiri vema-radio, nema-TV, vanoshambanza news, takachikokumbirawo kuti kwema-minutes 10 anotevera mungosunduruka mbichana tikumbowa anoshanda kumapepa nemuma-radio vangowanawo nguva yokuita basa. Thank you so much, colleagues. We're going to be having this press conference for exactly 10 minutes. When we open up the Q&A, you'll be allowed only one question, no follow-up questions. And our panel needs no introduction. It is the new Zifa Presidium, made up of our new Zifa President, Mr. Lloyd Mamizi, Vice President Kennedy Devene, and Vice President Loveness Mukura. And without further ado, I'm just going to ask Mr. Mamizi to make a few brief remarks, and then we open up our Q&A.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, colleagues. I know it's been been a long day. The voting process started early, or rather we started off with the AGM, and of course we've come to the end. We have our work cut out for us. The team that has been put in place today marks the beginning of a new era for Zimbabwean football. Those of you who may be aware, you remember that we had the issue of COVID. COVID was a big problem, and after COVID, we had the ban. And after the ban, then we had the NC, which was instituted by FIFA, which was, of course, an arm of FIFA. And NC has done its work, and the executive committee have been constituted, meaning that football business can now start. There's a number of challenges we've had as a country over the years. I believe we are more than 20 years behind in terms of where we should be. When you speak about football, we are 20 years behind. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Firstly, we need to fix our institution. There's a lot of work that we need to do to come up with best practices of how to make sure that Zifa is an efficient institution that will deliver for the fans, deliver for the players, deliver for the coaches. It's very important. So that it measures up to the best there is in the world. Very important. We also need to make sure that we rebuild trust and have partners. There's banks that have already come forward that would want to work with us. EcoBank has expressed interest to work closely with us. They've also expressed interest to give us a new head office that we would use while we renovate the ones we have. But of course, that will take place in due course. It's not something that will happen overnight. So partners are very critical in the growth of football in Zimbabwe. There's also the issue of obviously trying to make sure that we commercialize. We have AFCON coming up, very important assignment. So that's our primary focus, because if we don't do well there, therefore means that we are failing. So we have a commitment to make sure, myself and my committee, to make sure that we do well in AFCON, because that's our first litmus test. Of course, there's various other aspects that we need to attend to, but that one is a national platform where we could be seen how well we are performing. So we are very committed to hit the ground running and ensure that we have a stable framework that will ensure our boys will succeed. We also obviously are critically interested in ensuring that we have the next match is being played in Zimbabwe. It's very, very important, because it's embarrassing to be playing outside of your country. We have the National Sports Stadium right now, which is under renovations. The buckets are being fixed. Of course, it takes a lot of time, but it's going to require more resources for us to finish in time for the next matches, which I think in March. So it's very important that we fix that our infrastructure is in place and we can start having our matches here. Of course, lastly, we're obviously looking at the importance of getting direction from FIFA. They're still here to guide us as to how best we continue in making sure that we fully constitute our assembly, a very important aspect of our governance as an association. So I'm very, very delighted that we're at this stage, and I know we're going to work very well together. Where we err, please, you must tell us so that we fix those things, because this is a national project for all of us. You have the right to have your say with this administration. You have your right to be heard. You have your right to express whatever opinion or perspective you have, because it's important, if we are to be truly successful as a nation, it's important that we are very transparent with one another. So I really want to implore each one of us, most of the 40 states, you are the ones who can galvanize every Zimbabwean together, so that we rally behind one common purpose where we can succeed together. It's not about an individual, it's all about us winning together as a nation. So I'm not going to labor you with a lot of words. I will ask my VPs to just give you a few remarks, after which we'll then ask you to ask a few questions, which we will try as best as we can to answer. And I'm hoping then we can call it a day. Maybe people are hungry. We don't want to labor you too much. So I'll ask the lady, owner lady. So I'll ask her to give her remarks, and then we can ask Van Devele also to give his remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to thank you for giving me this platform. I should say you have almost said everything that we are about to engage on in terms of delivering what people are expecting. I know expectations are very high from the team that has been selected, and I want to promise you that we are ready to deliver. We are ready to rebuild the game that had seen enough ill, and we are ready to make sure that we unite people again through the beautiful game, because I know football unites people. Football can act as a cementing factor in any football-loving nation. So in case I water down what the President has said, I just want to say that we'll move with the manifesto that you outlined with us so that we move together in one unity as a team. Thank you.
Thank you, Vicky. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to congratulate Mr. Ngobele Makwezi for being elected as the Zifa president, and our lady vice president, Loveness, the executive members, and thank the assembly members for electing us to chart the way forward, come up with, as the president said, a new paradigm. We need to focus on developing our game, and we are committing ourselves to supporting the president, supporting the executive committee, supporting all the standing committees as we engage all our key stakeholders, right from the top, the presidium, to the ministry, SRC, media people will be key in ensuring that we develop the game and we make sure that we win the trophies and we compete at top stages. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think at this point, I think we're going to get a few questions, and we will try as best as we can to answer them. If we fail to answer you, please don't be harsh on us. We are very new, so be kind. Also, don't ask too difficult questions. Just ask nice questions. Then we answer you. But next week you can ask us difficult ones. Is that a deal? You can ask us difficult questions next week. This week, you know, we're very new. We're a few hours old, so we're not prepared for this. You can coordinate for us.
Right. Just a quick introduction yourself, your media organization. One question, no follow-up questions.
Elections are done, but maybe there's a need for collective effort with those who are married to come on board. What would you start to try to put people to come together so that we move forward?
As you may be aware, the football itself is a team sport. We'll be fooling ourselves as an executive to think that we can do it alone. Everyone has a role to play. Each one of us has a role to play. The colleagues that were also running in the elections, they still have a role to play. What we are going to request will be an all stakeholders conference where all members of the football community, including our colleagues who are participating in the election and did not succeed, will participate. The view is, in that all stakeholders conference, is that we can then have a working team to deliberate on various aspects that challenge the football community as we build a strategy for the future. We will discuss whether we come up with a 20-year strategy that allows us to have a longer perspective while we are focusing even on the short-term targets. So, but that process will require every Zimbabwean. The colleagues that were participating in the elections, they had brilliant ideas. Those ideas are needed. So every hand is needed on the plow. There is no one whose input will be disregarded. Everyone is required to participate, and we need the support of every football-loving Zimbabwe. Thank you.
much. Thank you so much.
Maybe you could project in the meantime, just go ahead. One, two.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. President. My name is Goodwill Sulisa from New Siana. We heard you talk about the upcoming AFCON finals in December. Thank you so much for assuring us that our preparations will be in order. But we also heard you talk about an earlier assignment in March. Now, which competition is that? And which team are we playing against?
I think he's obviously referring to the World Cup qualifiers coming up versus Benin and Nigeria.
Okay, thank you. That's the World Cup qualifier. Yeah, we are hoping that we'll play that match in Zimbabwe. Yeah, that's what we're looking to do. Of course, we want to take another question.
Thank you. Emmanuel Kasa for freelance. President, I think it's probably a kind of fed up with so many empty promises. We've had new members coming in promises. What assurance do we have that you as the new elected president, you are going to deliver us? Because we are hoping that you guys are going to deliver us. So we really wonder, what assurance do we actually have that you are going to deliver us?
Thank you very much. Look, I think it's a case of chicken and egg. I think the assurance that we can give you is the fact that the process has taken place, where a new executive committee has been put in place. And right now we are embarking on the process of building a clear strategy that is all-inclusive, right? So that process is an all-stakeholders process, which we will obviously announce once we have an opportunity to sit with the rest of the committee members to come up with a plan. That's what we're going to present. But here's what I can promise you. And we're going to need a lot of your help, I think, as the force system. We need a lot of your help because we must effectively communicate our intentions. And then we must also measure us. Where we promise things that we don't, you must tell us that, but you promised us that by March this is going to happen. Why is this not happening? So you must be able to question us. You know? So my view is the commitment we have is our sincerity right now because that's all there is to see. But you can also see at our expertise. You can also look at our combined and collective experience and use that as the starting point. But then, in the next few weeks, you should be able to then start asking questions. To say, you spoke about an all-stakeholders conference. Is it happened? Where are we? What are the plans? Because you must be able to lay out a plan going into the future. And then you can measure us on that. Thank you.
We'll take one more question and then we're done.
Yes, sir, from Starville. Congratulations, first of all. One of the biggest sticking points in previous boards was the use of funds, particularly coming from FIFA, the developmental grants, and of course now people are also talking about private corporate sponsorship money coming in. We want to hear from you exactly what does accountability, integrity look like in terms of the use of the funds? Will you be publicizing the use of the funds? How they being used, the amounts, and all of that?
Thank you. So, I think once we are fully constituted, of course, we need now to set up the committees. But what is critical when you are looking at an organization that has good corporate governance is the importance of delineation of roles between the executive committee and the secretariat. Right now, the secretariat we have, being led by Yvonne Mano, has been doing a good job with the NC, right? What we need to do, of course, we need to do just an audit on our organizational transformation process where we get an appreciation of what's there on the ground. Then we need to ensure that there's delineation of roles in terms of who's doing what. Where there's lack of capacity, obviously it's important that we capacitate the members either of the secretariat or even of the executive committee. because we are here, because we all love football, but our skills obviously will need to be improved in certain areas. So we need to do an audit of that, even amongst ourselves as the executive. Once we are clear on what skills we have and what capacities we need to improve, we then ensure that we establish a policy framework that governs how we operate the institution. For instance, my view, which I've not yet shared with the committee members because we've not had a chance, we've just been elected just a few minutes ago, is that the executive committee does not participate in the transactional processes like buying tissue for the association or for the offices. That job is for the secretariat. We oversee the policy implementation processes and make sure that the governance of the association is aligned to what the association expects. I can tell you freely that we are looking at a situation where on a quarterly basis we should do reports. Because it's a public institution, we should be able to put out our numbers out there to say we received this much, this is what has happened, this is how it's been used, because there is many stakeholders. We cannot operate the institution in isolation or in private, because it's not a private company. That I can do in my own company. But in this institution, those results must be published publicly, and people must know what the association is doing. So we are hopefully going to have your quarterly reports, your half-year reports, and then your annual reports, so that everyone has clarity as to how we are progressing as an institution. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and a big thank you to our new Zifa Presidium. Thank you for taking time to interact with me. You'll obviously be creating more opportunities for this sort of interaction. Thank you.
Thank you, President. All right. I'm waiting that you know, you're very passionate.